Well, that siege in Paris today lasting more than 7 hours. In the end, 2 terrorists are dead and 7 people have been arrested. Joining us on NDTV today is France's ambassador to India. Sir, thank you very much for speaking to us. These are very big raids that have been conducted today in Paris. It appears that this was a terror group that was very large and was possibly planning another big strike. This must be quite a big worry for you.
Yes, indeed. What happened is that we have tracked a group of people who were associated to the team which committed the attacks last week. So they were part of that operation. And what we discovered is that they were, of course, in possession of weapons and belt and explosives. So we can construe that they may have had the intention to conduct more attacks in the near future.
Is there a very real worry in France at this time about another major strike possibly happening in the near future?
Indeed, we have even gone beyond the state of alert. We are now in a state of emergency, which includes a number of police measures allowing searching and arrest in a very strong way. And indeed, we are expecting more attacks against France, against Europe. And it's a war which has been declared on us, and we are fighting that war. And of course, we will face difficulties, but we will win that war.
Well, one of the big problems that you face in France is the fact that there are about 1,500 French nationals who have gone to fight in Syria. About 100 of them are estimated to have come back to France. Isn't that really the biggest challenge that France faces at the moment?
You could even say there are also young women involved. First of all, yes, we have identified 1,500 people who, in one way or another, are connected to the fighting in Syria. It's a big number, but it's, in comparison to the French population, a very, very tiny minority. And so what we are dealing with is some fringe elements, which number we can certainly try to manage. You rightly said that one of the big problems is the returnees, because they were trained, they received indoctrination in Syria, and they have become extremely dangerous. And last week's attack shows that we were right to be worried, because most of them were French citizens, and most of them had spent time in Syria.
Sir, do you know if the mastermind of the Paris attacks, Abdelhamid Abaaoud, who's a Belgian national and is the most wanted man in France today, whether he has been arrested or killed in today's raids?
According to the information I have, yes, and he committed suicide during the operation.
But that's quite a big revelation you're making there. You're saying that you have information that Abdelhamid Abaaoud, the main accused, the mastermind of the Paris attacks, has committed suicide in the operation today. That's the information that you have.
I have received information which lead us to suspect that he committed suicide. I have no particular document to say that, but that is the first indication we have received.
Well, if he indeed is dead, as you are saying, then that's a huge development for you. He has been the most wanted man in France, one of the top ISIS leaders.
Indeed, indeed.
Well, Ambassador, before we let you go, are you also looking at stepping up anti-terror cooperation with India, which doesn't face that kind of direct threat from ISIS right now as you do, but certainly has concerns?
Well, we already have a very strong cooperation with India in the field of counterterrorism. That's a pillar of our strategic partnership. And it goes from exchanges of analysis and information to very concrete joint training between, for example, the NSG in India and the GIGN in France. So we have this very good understanding between India and France, and we continue to work in that framework. We expect to hold a meeting of our joint working group on terrorism early next month. That will be an important opportunity to exchange also our experience both in the field of tracking and analyzing what have happened in France. We will have an extensive presentation of what have happened. And what we will be seeking from India is, of course, political support that we have already received from government of India, and a continued effort against ISIS, and seeing India continuing to fight against terrorism in the future.
Well, Ambassador, before we let you go, I must ask you this question once again, because it's such an important news point that you have made. And I repeat this. You have said that you have indications that Abdelhamid Abaaoud, the mastermind of the Paris strikes, has committed suicide in today's operations, correct?
That's the indication we have received, but again, we need to wait for confirmation, global confirmation of the outcome of the operation.